Hi guys! It's been playing on my mind to make this video for some time, and I finally just said, let's just do it. Let's just put it out. The editing's not going to be great, so I apologize now if there are any jump cuts or if it all looks a little bit weird. I totally put this set up at the last minute, and I just wanted to get this video out because I felt it was, in relative terms, something that was time sensitive. But for full disclosure, this video is for entertainment purposes only. When it comes to spending your money on what you want, it's absolutely your choice what you spend your money on and what you choose to invest in. This was just what I found helped me choose my first luxury bag, especially considering all the price increases that have happened. It's getting harder and harder for those entering the luxury space who don't have significant disposable income to start making those decisions, right? First thing I did is I actually looked at what bags did I have and use. And I wrote down what the commonalities were. So for me, it was backpack, crossbody bags and totes were my main style of bag. And when I looked at the commonality between them, most were black, barring the backpack, most were leather, and most were very hard wearing in terms of materials. So I already knew that if I was going to choose my first bag, it was most likely going to be a crossbody, right? And probably in black. And then I looked at what I have that I don't use. And looking at those bags, I noticed there were some beautiful pieces that I really loved and adored, right? But I never took them out because for me, they were difficult. And what I found was those bags were in white, they were top handle, so they could only be carried, by top handle or on the shoulder. I also found that they were rather large in size. I don't mean a tote bag, I mean a handbag that was rather large. So to carry it on my shoulder or on the strap on, by its top handle was actually quite difficult. So I found that maybe those were the kinds of bags I should avoid as much as I enjoyed looking at them, right? There are bags that you admire, that you look at, you think, oh, they're beautiful pieces. And, if you want to make your first luxury purchase for something that's going to be, for the most part on display, then that's fine. But if you're looking for something that you get your use from, then maybe for me, that wasn't the right bag. The next was lifestyle, right? So what do I actually do with my day? And my activities tended to fall in a few common categories: work, gym, lunches, shopping, and kind of general days out. I don't go out in the evening a huge amount. I don't really go, I do travel a lot, but in terms of handbags, that wasn't necessarily a factor because I don't ever tend to take or ever tend to intend, if that makes sense, to take a expensive piece traveling, because then it's a risk that, it gets smushed, it gets somehow warped on, if you're traveling with it on the plane, or if, you put it into the carry-on. So I would always opt for cheaper bags for travel anyways. But for those occasions, that was kind of where whatever bag I chose was going to be used most likely, was in kind of one of those categories, right? So either in work or in going out to exercise or in general days out or shopping or out for dinners. So that kind of told me what category of outings I should consider for the bag. Then the next was aspirational v balance. So let me explain a little bit about that. So aspirational is where we have that ideal image in our mind, right? That perfect person, that perfect thing that is the ideal that you see online, posted on various different social media, and also in the back of your mind who you'd love to be if, there weren't certain logistics you had to deal with. And then there's balance, which is, of course, you want your luxury bag to help push you forward, to create a more elevated look sometimes, but you don't necessarily want it to be so difficult that it cannot fit. Aspirational is going for what you'd like. In the ideal world with social media and these things, if logistics were not an issue, if you could just do the things that you enjoy rather than what you need to do. And then balance is, hey, I want to elevate my look, but what does that actually look like? To be honest, getting a luxury handbag that is for your aspirational self may not be very practical. For example, you might imagine yourself out all the time on lunches and going out for meals and, traveling the world and going to glamorous locations and these things, and you go, oh, a lovely classic flap, for example, might work great. Now, that may ultimately be a bag that you get, but if you're somebody that spends all your time, out and about in busy areas, not necessarily the nicest places, you might not want a bag that draws attention to yourself. So understanding what your idealized self is, which may not be practical right now, and creating some balance so that you get something that you like and enjoy that would help push yourself forward, if that's what you want, or a piece that you might put down for a long period of time and then pick it up when you're at your ideal self as well. It's kind of up to you, but just understanding the difference between what's practical for you in terms of balance and what's more aspirational for your idealized self. And the next is wardrobe and climate. So if you're someone like me who wears, a lot of black in their wardrobe, mixed with colors here and there, but kind of, relies on that darker silhouette in terms of colors, then, you might find that a pop of color for a bag might work, or you might find you want a black bag entirely. Or if you're someone that wears lots of color, you might actually need a neutral bag to bring it back into line so it matches most of your clothes. Or as someone who wears black, you can also just, get a black bag. It's up to you, but it's about understanding, what do you want from the bag? Do you want it to fit into most of your clothes and outfits? Do you want it to be a focal point that kind of accents your clothes? Or do you want it to kind of blend into the entire outfit? It's up to you, right? And then we're talking about climate. So if you're in a hot country, then it might make sense that your first bag is something, of the style of those beach bags. Whereas if you're somewhere that has all the seasons, and it tends to be colder longer than it's warmer, then maybe that wouldn't be a great investment right now. Maybe that wouldn't be a great place to spend your money because you wouldn't get the wear out of it. Again, it's another thing to consider. Okay, materials. So what are you actually going to have your bag made from? There's an argument for canvas versus leather, right? We can think of brands such as Louis Vuitton, who are very well known for their canvas. And it's hardy, it's long wearing, for sure, but maybe you want to have that touch and feel of leather. And if that's the case, then what kind of leather would suit you? There's lots of different kinds. There's, box leather, pebbled, textured leather. There's embossed leathers of various kinds. You can kind of go and look for what you like, and getting an idea of what works for you and what you would enjoy takes some research. So for this piece, I would say research the various different options to get an understanding of what would suit you best for your climate and your lifestyle, right? And what you currently use already. So you might already have some cheaper leather bags and go, oh, I love leather. Or you might have some canvas bags that you can just throw around and you think, oh, that would suit me a lot better. Next is recognizable versus none. And what do I mean by that? So you might have some well-known brands, such as LV, I'll mention them again, which have their monogram. Now, for some people, they'll enjoy that, but they don't necessarily always want people to know the branding, potentially because, it draws attention. That might not always be positive. And also some people don't want the bag itself to draw too much attention away from the overall look, to overpower it. There's also other arguments in regards to just how many outfits you can style it with, because for some people monogram can be a little bit jarring. to match with other prints, other factors like that. And also, you know, if you're using leather, you might still want to choose a monogram because, for example, for LV, their LV monogram in the empreinte leather is far more subtle. So, where in lifestyle do you want to see luxury impact first? Not all of us have an incredible amount of funds to spare that we can just choose what to spend money on and go, yeah, I want bags and shoes and accessories and scarves and ready to wear and so on and so on. Some people have to be more selective. So with this, I actually sat down and thought to myself, okay, where would I like to see the enjoyment of my luxury items in my day-to-day life? And for me, it was in just that, my day-to-day life. So in smaller items. That was also very important for my first purchase. Now, there is a consideration to make in terms of what you call luxury. For some, luxury is the top tier, which is LV, Hermes, Chanel, for example. And for some, it's actually about considering the contemporary brands. By contemporary, what do I mean? I mean Tory Burch, Coach, Michael Kors, brands like this. And that might leave a bitter taste for some, but allow me to explain myself a little bit. So those contemporary luxury brands do actually bring some reasonable quality forward in regards to their goods, especially nowadays. And with all the price increases, it might well be that your funds aren't yet ready for an LV, a Chanel, a Hermes. So you want to maximize what you have now, and you want to buy, you know, a piece that can be like a tote and a handbag and a card holder and, you know, a key holder. You know, you can probably get all of those things for far less with a contemporary brand as opposed to top tier luxury. So it depends upon your considerations. I would argue a mix of both is fantastic, if you can afford that. But I have contemporary luxury items. I have plenty of items from Coach. I enjoy them, and I actually enjoy them even more to a certain extent because I don't have to baby them, and I use them day to day, and the leather has worn very well over time. And I'll show you one of those bags later on. Last consideration, budget and time. So the reason why I put budget and time actually at the bottom of the list is because all of these should help you narrow down the kind of bag you should be looking for. So for example, for me, it was, I needed a crossbody, I needed it in black, I needed it to be able to be used for everyday life, I needed it to be simple and subtle, leather, preferably pebbled. Yes, it can have a recognizable logo, but on the more subtle side. And I wanted to see the impact in my day-to-day life. I didn't mind if it was contemporary or top tier, but I wanted to get it soon, and I wanted to get it within the budget that I had. So this told me what I was looking for. Then it was just a case of going, okay, I have this amount of time to find it, and I have this amount of money to spend. Now go online and find it, which is basically what I did. With a lot of research and a lot of time, of course. So as you can see here, this is actually one of my bags from Coach. Pebbled leather, you can see it's aged magnificently, still soft and malleable to the touch. Has a wonderful suede lining. Let me just open it up here so you can see. There's that suede lining. It's aged fantastically. It comes with a crossbody strap as well. Let me just quickly show you here. Also in leather. Move that out the way. There isn't enough that I can say to compliment this bag, to be honest. And it's one of the cheaper ones they have. This was not the first bag I purchased, luxury or contemporary brand, depending upon how you want to classify it. But what I will say is this was, and I believe still is, under £300, and it fits all my essentials. It fits card holder, keys, phone, travel card, hand sanitizer, face mask, lipstick, painkillers, some spare change, a gym locker key, what else is in here? Tissues, and even without a case, sunglasses, and all of that fits into this small bag that's, you know, the size of my hand. It's not huge in size, but it fits a lot. It's like a TARDIS. So please let me know in the comments if this was helpful for you to select your first luxury item. And, you know, if this gets some views, then I'll definitely make another video about the bag I actually ended up choosing, which, hint, is not a million miles away from my Coach bag, but is definitely not from Coach. So let me know what you think in the comments. Please like and subscribe, and thank you for watching. Bye-bye.